I'm a bit jealous that modern kids start programming in like kindergarten. I started programming when I was at school, though a few years before I had programming classes. I still remember my first program. It was just printing some text and exit. Not so impressive, right? But hey, all I had was Turbo Pascal and absolutely no people to show me how to code. No manuals, no internet, just a bunch of examples which I could not even read because I didn't know English. In fact, I still don't understand how I managed to print anything from that application. Later, my applications became more complicated. My parents bought me 2 books about Turbo Pascal, and I spent months experimenting with it. The most advanced application that I wrote was a window manager. Like, it was possible to boot from a floppy drive, and instead of boring dark DOS prompt, you would see windows written in TurboVision. I don't remember much about that application, but what I know for sure is you should not ask me about the code quality there. Why the quality was not good? Well, mostly because I didn't have a person to talk to. I mean, that's great when there is someone who sits near you and advises, hey, this variable is not used anymore, or do you remember that you decided not to return widgets from functions, or this might be a constant, and so on. Probably you already see where I'm going, right? Maybe a real person will not do that, but your IDE will. And the tool that helps you with your code is called Linter or Analyzer. And today we will learn a few exciting things about Analyzer. Of course, Analyzer is suitable not only for junior developers. Developers of all levels easily identify potential problems with it, apply fixes, and it becomes even more important in teams as the Analyzer encourages following some coding standards and conventions, which leads to just better code. So, how to add Analyzer to a project? Unless you removed it, you already have one. Let me show you. Let's create a new Dart application. Dart create, Dart app. Right, I have an app. Let's open Analysis Options file, and look, here on line 14, I have Linter. And right now it shows that I don't have problems in my code, like here. Let's maybe add some linter rule just to showcase how it looks like. I will add a void print rule here. I'm saving the file, and voila, you see that now I have a linter warning. My advice, spend some time reviewing existing linter rules. They are really good, there are tons of them, and probably they already can improve your codebase dramatically. If you don't want to review them manually, you may just use a very good analysis package by Very Good Ventures. So yeah, there are plenty of linter rules, but what if you have some specific rules for your team that are not implemented in Analyzer? Well, prepare yourself for a challenge. Let's write a custom linter rule now. For that, I will create a new package. Let it be hard plugin. I will remove bin and test folders. And now add dependencies for Analyzer and Analyzer plugin packages. I'm not sure these are the latest versions. Let me check. Yep, latest. Nice. All right, let's implement the plugin. I will open a hard plugin file, and instead of this calculate function, let's write a new sort of main function here. So the first parameter is arguments, and the second one is send ports. What's send port? Don't ask me here, because otherwise it would take just eternity for me to complete this project. So server plugin starter is a helper that will allow me to start my plugin. I'm setting port there, and I've added hard plugin class. Let's create that hard plugin. I will create a new file, src-plugin.dart, and here will be hard plugin class that would extend server plugin. Nice. Let me just add missing overrides. And yeah, let's import it here. Nice. Back to the plugin. I will start with files globs to analyze property. Here I will specify which files this plugin will analyze. In my case, that would be just Dart. The name would be hard plugin. Why not? And the version is it's not the version of the plugin, it's the version of the protocol that it confirms. So that would be 1.0.0. And yeah, let's start with analyze file function. So first I need to get a asynchronous function. Yeah. I need to get a unit, which is sort of a file that I'm working in. So current session get get resolved unit. Yes, I'll put path there. Next, I will prepare a list of errors in that file. That will be an empty list for now. And if unit has the expected type, it would be resolved unit result, then I will do some analyzer checks here. So that would be validate, amend model suffix. I will describe what that rule will do a bit later. I will map from errors, bear with me, that's needed. So that would be an error. And now I will send those errors to analyzer. So that would be channel send notification, and in that notification I will send errors. So that would be analyzes error params. Okay, that one. File we have path, and for errors we have errors. So that's good to notification. Oh, what's missing? Yeah, constructor. Constructor, I don't want to pass it like that. Let me pass the required parameter from the constructor. Not really universal, but that will do for our particular case instance. Nice. I need to implement that validate amend model suffix function now, so I will create a new file for it. Rules, that one not the best name, so I will just replace it here. Amend model suffix. All right, let's start with the implementation. So it will return an iterable, a collection of analysis error fixes. Validate amend suffix, and I will put two parameters here. The first one is path, and the second one is unit, which is a sort of abstraction over this file. File. Yeah, that's better. Alright, so that's iterable, so I will mark this function as sync, and I will get a library from unit library element. Let's get all top-level classes from this library. Top-level classes, library, top-level elements where type, and I will put class element here. And let's iterate through all top-level classes. If a class name ends with model, then let's get a location for this error. Location will be on path, and here I need to pass offset and length. Like that. I probably need to add 2 more parameters. They're just zeros. That should be fine for this case. I imported location, and now I will yield a new error here. So that would be analyzers, error fixes, analyzer error. We need to pick a severity for it. That would be just an info, for example. Type will be lint. Yep, location we already have one. Message, what should we print to our users? Like, for example, amend model suffix in class names. Like that. Nice, and a code here. That would be the code for our linter warning. Okay, yeah. Yes, now I think it's good. Let's maybe provide some hint, like a correction, rename class, and let's be explicit, like has fix. No, we will not provide a fix for this linter. All right. It should work, so let me import this function now. That should work. Now I will show you a tricky thing. To make this plugin work as analyzer plugin, I need to create a new file. It must be in tools, analyzer plugin, bin, plugin.dart. Here will be the entry point for our plugin. So I'll define a new main function with arguments, and that magical send port parameter again. And from here I will start our plugin. So that would be start. I will pass the parameters, arguments, send password. Yeah, like that. And now let's make this analyzer plugin a Dart package. For that, I will create another one, pubspec.yaml file. Let me do that quickly. pubspec.yaml. All right. Oh, too soon. I will need to add name here. That would be a hard plugin loader. I need a description. A plugin loader, or yeah, a plugin loader. I need a version, which would be just a startup version. I don't plan to publish it, so let it be like that. Now I need to specify environment. I don't need Flutter, and for Dart SDK that would be 2.19. What's wrong? Oh, all right. I need to write it like that. And we need a dependency. So the dependency to hard plugin. And here is a trick. You cannot specify dependency in absolute path, in relative path. Sorry, you need absolute path. So I will copy paste this address path, that one, and here I will put hard plugin. It's really important while you are developing a custom plugin to put it in absolute path, otherwise it will not start. I don't know, it looks good to me. Let's try to use this plugin now. I will open, probably let's create some failing case first. test model. Let's imagine that I don't want to call, just a second, I don't want to call my classes with model suffix. So I will add hard plugin dev dependency now here, and let's turn on a new plugin. For that, I will uncomment analyzer and put plugins option here, and it would be hard plugin. Let's do the pub get. Oh, look, we already have two issues now. Let me open problems. And here, I meant model suffix in class names, so we have a problem here, which is super nice. So, good news, yay! We wrote a custom linter rule. Bad news, it's extremely untrivial to debug this plugin, as you cannot just attach a debugger or you cannot print anything to console. More bad news, the API that we used is not well documented, and you cannot even imagine how many hours of frustration this tiny example costs me. The implementation is far not complete. It works in IDE only. Let me show you. Like if I run Dart analyze here, you can see that our new issue is not there. So for simplest cases, that might work. But if it doesn't work on CI, it doesn't work. So we may fix the implementation, but probably we should not. It doesn't have to be that low level. And there is a better way. In fact, there are many different ways, and I'll share the one that I personally found the most convenient. It's called custom lint. For that, let me create a new Dart project. I will open here, that create easy plugin. All right, let's start with removing unneeded code. Tests are for cowards, right? And let's add a few dependencies here. So that would be analyzer plugin, and custom lint builder, like that. Oops, these are not latest versions. Let me check. Yep, let's upgrade them quickly. Nice. That will do. Alrighty, let's start with the plugin. Again, there are some there are just some conventions in this solution. We need to start with a function that will return plugin base, create plugin, and this create plugin function will return our plugin. Let it be easy plugin. Let me create a new class, easy plugin now. Easy plugin extends plugin base. Let's generate missing override, and that's just a single function that accepts config. We don't need it for now, and yeah, it will just return a list of lint rules. Let's create one amend model suffix class. Nice. Let's create this class. New file, src rules. Amend model suffix.dart. Awesome. So that's a class, model suffix, which extends Dart lint rule. Let's maybe generate overrides for us. Okay, a single function here. Let's create constructor. Also, all right, let's start with the code instead. I will create a new private static const variable, lint code. We put its name, amend model suffix, and a user-friendly message like amend model suffix in class name. The same one that we used before. Let's give a hint to our users how to deal with that error. And we just pass this code function here. Super code. In advance, I will prepare name that I will use in the run function implementation. And yeah, let's start working on the implementation itself. So here, instead of like more imperative approach, we use a declarative one, and we will add a callback that will be called when the analyzer will find a class declaration. So let's get a class name from it and compare it with the expected one. If it ends with model suffix, and probably we may fix one bug immediately, like if class name is equal to model suffix, then probably we don't want the linter to complain. We will report an error, and here there are many functions. We will use report error for token, and token in our case would be a class name. So I will send class name there. Import our new class in easy plugin, and it looks good. Let's use it. So instead of adding just a single easy plugin, let's add one additional dependency, which will be custom lint, which is a linter itself. And of course, we will still need to import easy plugin. Now I can use relative path here. Nice. Let's go to analysis options and turn on custom lint plugin, because we are using custom lint, and easy plugin is just an extension for it. Cool. Probably I can do pub get. Oh, look, we already have logs, which is great. So we know that it works. Let me do pub get. Oh, yep. We have 3 errors now, and look, on the same line we have 2 errors. The first one is from hard plugin, and the second one from easy plugin. Isn't that great? But we can do better. I think that we may implement additional functionality. Like, isn't that great when linter can fix errors for you? Let's implement it now. For that, I will open our .lint rule class again and override get fixes for it. I will return a list from it. I will write a new class, amend model suffix fix. Let's implement this class now. I will do this in the same file. So class amend model suffix fix will extend Dart fix. And let's generate overrides. A single function run. So we need to sort of subscribe to the same thing. So that would be add class declaration. Let's check that it's the class with the error. So if not analysis error source range intersects our problem, our class, sorry. So that's not the class we are looking for. All right. So the valid name would be like a name substring of the name from the beginning to name length minus the unneeded suffix length. And we will do the change. For that, I'm creating a special object, which is change builder, user-friendly message for it, and priority 0 is the lowest priority, because, come on, it's not that important. Change builder, add Dart field edit. And here I will ask that builder to replace part of the code in that specific range, which would be source range. We need to specify offset, that would be name offset and obviously name length. And we need to specify with which text we need to do the replacement, valid name. Awesome. Let's try to use it now. I will do pub-get and we'll see whether we have a fix. We don't, and maybe now we still don't have it. No. Oh, maybe I have an issue with my code. Let me check logs. No, with logs all's fine. So, oh, look, yes, now we have it. Rename to test. All right, I think we still have time to implement one additional rule. No one said that Linter should work for Dart code only. Let's implement a rule that will show an error if anyone is using hard plugin in their codebase. For that, I will create a new file. I will just copy paste this class from our previous rule. All right, new lint code like that. Problem message. Hard plugin was a POC. Don't use it at all. All right, let's put a package name in its own variable. Hard plugin name would be not get hard plugin. All right. We will not add fixes there, and oh, I need to specify which files to analyze. And for this rule, I'm interested only in pubspec.yaml files. Let's get rid of this code, and instead I will just read that file resolver path. All right, so I will put file content in a variable, read as string synchronously. So we will put a position of hard plugin string in that variable, last index of hard plugin name. I will put a white space before hard plugin name, because it could be that otherwise it will give me some false positives. So if hard plugin was found, then I will report error for offset. The offset would be hard string +1 and hard plugin name.length. Nice. I don't know. That should work, but let's change the severity of the problem. Let's say that this is a warning. Now, let's use this plugin here. I'm adding an import. And oh, look, we already have a problem in the codebase. Hard plugin was a POC, so don't use it, please. Alright, even with this implementation, we still have some, I would not call disadvantages, but some things to keep in mind. For example, if you will run a Dart analyzer in this project, let me do that, Dart analyze, you will see that analyzer will not find our new linter rules. So if I want to see my rules, I will need to run a custom lint tool instead. And here it is. Yep, hard plugin was a POC. To recap, it is possible to write custom linter rules, but that might be a challenge. Start with the default linter. It has tons of really useful rules, and it could be that it already provides everything that you need. In case something is missing, use custom lint package, unless you really love challenges and you want to control everything. I think that's it for this presentation. I'm looking forward to your questions.